article in WorldNet Daily. By the way, have you been to WorldNet Daily? Officially, I hate their new website. I hate it. I hate the look. It's confusing. I don't know. Anyway, but they had an article called "You Won't Believe What's Next in the Radical Sex Agenda," talking once again about California schools, and I'll be dealing with that. And this guy here called Baphomet, and this guy here called Angel in the Flesh. You remember Angel in the Flesh? That was Da Vinci's drawing. Ended up being his painting of John the Baptist, Jean-Baptiste. And Angel in the Flesh was an interesting... I'd never, ever show all of Angel in the Flesh. Never do. Because then that would turn our G-rated video broadcast into, what is it, MA? Anyway, The Flesh Angel is it's a sketch that Da Vinci did that has female parts and male parts. And it's interesting that he called it Angel in the Flesh. Okay? Sons of God, daughters of men. You get it. Okay? And then there's some things I'm going to deal with, how the feds are tracking your kids. Minority Report comes to Leon, Mexico. There's an entire town that has contracted with I think it's a Nashville-based company to do retina scan. Entire town, okay, to do retina scan. We're going to recover some information about Facebook and DARPA and the Office of Information Awareness, how Facebook tracks you across the web, how your tweets. Now, the government comes out and says they're archiving every tweet, every one of them. They're archiving every one of them. Let's see here, the all-seeing eye. And then I've got some new information on the triple helix. I'm going to revisit that for a while. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to recover some old information. You know, I think that I have this tendency to think that once I cover a subject, then everybody ought to know it forever. Okay? And I have to remind myself, Mike, why don't you go back and kind of refresh everybody's memory, because that's what the Apostle Peter did. He said, I'm going to stir up your remembrance. And so that's what we're going to do, including our buddy Newt Gingrich and a thing called the Third Wave. Have you ever heard of the Third Wave? You might want to research it. And then a pastor who is letting people tweet or text message him during the message. And it's in the St. Louis area. And some of the things that were tweeted that he responded to are very, very revealing. And I might talk about that here in a little bit. I want to see what everybody's been saying about me behind my back in the emails. By the way, somebody sent this one in on Wednesday. And if you would like for your email to be read or heard, your question, no matter how boring you think it is, or how irrelevant, or even if it's confrontational, I might just deal with it. You can send me an email at pastormikeonline@gmail.com. If you're watching from the Pastor Mike Online website, just fill out the little form there at the bottom and put in the little CAPTCHA, that thing that computers can't read. At some point, I think, however, Ray Kurzweil thinks that the computers will be able to read the little CAPTCHA that you got to type in. I think they're going to get smart enough to do that. And so some human will teach them how to read that stuff. Anyway, you just fill that out and send me an email, and I'll see if I can address it today. Patty wrote in on Wednesday, which is Woden's Day. I don't know if you knew that or not. Woden's Day. There is Sunday, which the people who say you're going to go to hell for going to church on Sunday, those people say that you should not go to church on Sunday because it's named after the sun. And that's true. And Monday is named after the moon. Okay, so we can't go to church on Monday either. Tuesday was named after a god. I can't remember which one it was. Wednesday is named after Odin, the Norse god, which is basically the Antichrist. Thursday is named after Thor, That's his day. And Saturday is named after Saturn, the car company. No, just kidding. The god. Okay. So anyway, Patty writes in, and I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, she wrote it in on Wednesday, and says, "Dear Pastor Mike, thank Jesus for putting you at my front door." She says the CDs God and you gave free has gone a long way for keeping me in the Word. Patty says, "Do you think a feller would know if they were twice dead?" Okay, I have an answer to that. Okay, number one, someone who is once dead doesn't know that they're dead. Okay, they're just dead. Twice dead? No, absolutely not. I think that someone who has fallen away, who has become an apostate, I think Romans chapter 1, God turns them over to a reprobate mind to do that which is unseemly. The Bible talks about their conscience being seared with a hot iron. Okay, I think people who are just twice dead, the way the Bible refers to them, I don't think they know it. I don't think people walk around going, "Yeah, I rejected God, and I'm never going to go to." People have asked me, Pastor Mike, I think I've committed the unpardonable sin, and I'm so sorry. If you've gone past the line, you don't know that you have. Okay, that's the difference right there. The Holy Ghost does not deal with you, and so anyway, that's my answer there. Mia writes in this morning and says, "Hi, brother. I know you already know a lot on these topics. Just wanted to send you, in case you would like to notice some more facts on these items. Please watch the I think it's a YouTube video. Human robots. That's part of the singularity, and we are already headed in that direction." John wrote in this morning, said, "Do you already have your DVD on colors?" No, but we have them in color. A study on colors that I have not gotten to yet. John, it's another one of those videos that I just I want to do, and then something else comes up, and so anyway, let's see here. Let's see here. Robert sends me a link, and I don't know that I have to. Let me click on it and hope that it doesn't launch a virus on my computer, and I'll read that in a little bit. Let's see here. Watcher Doyle. This is congratulations, Watcher Doyle. How's the baby? Anyway, he writes in, "Dear Pastor Mike, we want to thank you for singing happy birthday for our newborn." And I'm going to Siobhan, Siobhan. I think I'm pronouncing that right on Sunday. Her name is Irish. And means God is gracious. Our prayers are with Adeline. I really, really appreciate that. That girl needs a lot of prayers. Anyway, congratulations, Watcher Doyle, to you and your family. Robert from the Netherlands writes in and says, Bilderberg meeting 2012. The first notification about the Bilderberg meeting in 2012, the Bilderberg group will meet in Haifa. The Bilderberg group meets at the elite, that's in Israel, in a particular hotel, namely the Hotel Rothschild. If that sounds vaguely familiar too. Here we have, it's like the conglomeration of two conspiracy groups. They have the Bilderbergers and we have the Rothschilds. And yeah, it just makes sense. I want you to notice now that no one has ever asked Bethel Church to host the next Bilderberg meeting. Okay? Probably too many cameras around. I don't know. Anyway, John. Oh, come on, John. No. John says, you would be the best president for America. No, I wouldn't. I would be a lousy president. I would get shot, John. Okay? Don't say that. I'll tell you this. There's a difference. You'll see it in the Scriptures between those who are in like authority, like kings and princes and things like that, and the prophets who come to them. Okay? And the king is usually not qualified to be a prophet. The prophet's usually not qualified to be the king. David is the exception. He was both king and prophet. But usually the presidents and the guys who advise them are two different things. And so I would make a lousy president. Everybody's telling me to look at the iPad. Why am I supposed to be looking at my iPad? Okay, why is that? Anyway, obviously somebody's trying to send me a note, and I'll wait for it anyway. So not wanting to be president. All right. Terry writes in and says, talking about Dagon, I have noticed a tattoo shop on the north side of Houston called Dago's. Do you think there's a connection? It appears that they have just dropped the N from the name. Now, Terry, I will tell you. Oh, come on, guys. They want me to look at the iPad. They say, because you're ignoring us. Okay? You know what ignoring, when someone ignores you, that means they're ignorant. Okay? Just thought I'd say that. Anyway, Terry's asking about a tattoo shop called Dago's. Now, if there's anybody out there who is Italian, okay, please help me out with this, because I'm reasonably sure that the name Dago is a reference to those who are of Italian origin, although I could be wrong. So, Terry, the next time you go, and I'm assuming you don't go to the tattoo shop, okay? But next time you drive by there in the north side of Houston, take a look and see if you see a half fish, half human thing out there, okay? But interesting. Anyway, let's see here. Pastor Mike, this is from Bronson. Says, I saw a video of Sam Gipp, who is I believe is a King James guy, doing a Bible study on the word translation, reference to the KJV being a translation of the original languages, and the Bible study revealed that God thinks that the state of a translation is better than the original. Awesome. I don't know. I don't know. And for this reason, okay, whether you're dealing with the Hebrew Old Testament or the Greek New Testament or the English King James, you are dealing with God's Word in man's language. Okay, that's what you're dealing with. And so I couldn't say that my King James translation is better than the Hebrew or better than the Greek. I can't say that. What I can say is my King James translation is the same as the Hebrew Old Testament and the Greek New Testament, and that God, by way of His gift of interpretation of tongues, allowed and gave blessing and grace to the King James translators so that when they wrote it out in English, it matched in English what was said in the Hebrew and in the Greek. Okay, that's my take on it. Now, I don't want to have some big thing with Sam Gipp. I don't know him. I've never met him. Gary talks about him from time to time, and so casting no dispersions on him whatsoever. It's just that that's just kind of how I see it. This Bible is a translation to me because of what I believe and how because of me being English speaking, and so I think that this Bible was translated correctly and is on par. That's a golf term. Is on par with the Hebrew and with the Greek. They're one and the same. Okay, so but it's an interesting point, and there's certainly no doubt in my mind whatsoever that the King James Bible is right 100% of the time. No doubt in my mind. Okay, rule number one. Okay, there are no mistakes in the Bible. Rule number two, you think you found one? Refer back to rule number one. John says, please send me such CD with quick verse. John, I think you're on our mailing list, and if you are, you will be getting that as soon as we get them in. Oh, my goodness. Robert from the Netherlands says, I love the hair